I'm Patrick, welcome to Studio Fremont. Should we start the tour with a little control room?
Is this the main control room?
No, this is what we call the recording room, but you can use it as a big room as well. It's totally prepared for mix and stuff like that, but we almost always do our vocal tracks and most of the guitar playing in here. It's a comfortable environment, little and kind of cozy. So it's one of the places to use. We also have a bigger studio, I'll show you that later. Trapped in this downward spiral, a vicious circle of life, filled with revenge. No one remembers us who was alive. And you have the kitchen over here with the refrigerator and freezer and stuff like that.
What's in the fridge?
Now we have some peas and shit, some vegetables, and of course some fish and...
Vegetables aren't very metal.
Fish is not very metal, that's why it's not ours. That's some anti-metal band, I don't know who it is, but... And you see like this? That's not ours either. With the real stuff. We have a little relaxing room with the TV and stereo and stuff like that. But now they want to put their stuff in the middle of the way. Okay. This, by the way, is from 1956. This is really rare. We have to be careful about it. And here's the office. Here's my Tit Explorer. Okay, this is the big the studio room where we always record the drums. What is that? And we have the grand piano over here. Some softer stuff. You don't play in the haunted, you play the piano. But it's cozy. And of course, the relaxing room with the boys. This is the heart of Studio Fremont. The big console, where we do all the mixing, and here's where all the real work is done. And you mix the album and stuff like that. And we, of course, record stuff in here too. So yeah, like guitars, vocals, and everything. We have little rooms for that.
Okay, here's the band. Over here is Jonas, bass. Next to him is Marco Aro, vocals. That's Per Möller Jensen on drums. Right here is Anders Björler on guitars. And myself, Jensen, on guitars. Yep. Det är skitbra.
Annorlunda.
Nej Jonas, var aldrig sett en sms till varje år va?
Mer kaggigt gör det.
Som Jonas mobil.
It's been going really good actually. I came down on Sunday night and we started recording on Monday morning. And we're down to one last song tomorrow. And we're hopefully getting it recorded in time so I can go home before the snow starts falling too bad. I actually took lessons to learn how to breathe properly, because prior to that I just burnt my voice every time I started singing. It took about one rehearsal and I was done. And I started learning the proper ways to do the breathing exercises and stuff, and now I don't have any problems with it at all. And during tours you have to pickle your voice in alcohol, so we usually don't go for like a theme album thing, in spite what people think about maybe do it. It's just the lyrics that we write is just open for interpretation for anybody, because it's fun actually to come out into the world and somebody has a completely different interpretation of your lyrics, and it's exciting to see what people think and how they think. So, but otherwise I just write from myself and what I observe daily, because that's the only thing I know anything about. I don't want to write about politics and stuff because it doesn't really interest me at all.
Varför gör du sådär?
The one vocalist that actually got me started, I played the drums before. It was Chuck Billy. I just got blown away by his vocals. And then, of course, you got Phil Anselmo. You got all these vocalists that have a personal style, because there are many, like in the black metal scene, they all sound the same. And I like the individual vocalists that really state their claim in the music. So you got Phil Anselmo, you got, who else? You got Peter Dolving as well. He really has a special voice, and just guys like that.
Ja, vi säger en gång.
Ska vi...
Hallå? Men gör det själv då. Nej, jag kan inte säga något längre. Men man sitter ju bara och gör ingenting.
Ja, perfekt DVD-material.
This is the twins, the typical twin argument. One guy leaves a room. If you guys hadn't been here, they'd been fighting already and over.
Få A lite bättre.
In this band we actually have the democracy rules. So we sit down and discuss, and everybody gets a good feel for the song and decides which one goes on and which doesn't. Of course there's always going to be controversies, but democracy rules.
Michael.
Yeah?
Ja, sista klar alltså.
Oh, okay, they finished up the lyrics now, so I have to go.
See ya! So this is, I'm putting into this demonstration.
When? Now?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, my name is Fredrik and I'm the owner of Studio Fredman. Here we have done some recordings with bands like At the Gates and Arch Enemy, Spirit of Beggars, Jimmy Borgir, In Flames, and a lot of other bands. We normally do metal music here. It's like a little metal factory of Gothenburg.
What are you actually doing? What does a producer do?
Actually, right now I've been helping him with all sounds and some complaints. They are really good guys, you know, playing and know what they want. So it's actually maybe more advice they want to like ask. Do you think this is better or this is better? Normally they know what they're doing, and so it's actually not so much, to be honest. So, and we have another guy here. He's not here now, Patrick, and he helped them a lot. Also, don't have to mention him because he's actually the guy who done most of the recordings. They have all these ideas how they want it to sound, and they have they know what they want. And like example for the guitar sound, we have a very strange setup of how we connected the amps. We used like 2 different cabinets and 2 different heads and stuff like that. So try out stuff, and it's more like, actually with them it's more like to make them satisfied with the sound how they want, because they have like their preferences or like their rehearsal room, and they want it to sound like that, but it's quite hard actually, and also at the same time they want to sound good. So, yeah, but normally they know what they want, and together we collaborate to find the right way. So then we started with set up the drum sound, and 99% is actually how a metal album starts. Record the drums together with some kind of guide guitars, and then we after we record the drum, check that all drums are tight and so on, go through it several times, and then we start recording guitars, and after the guitars we're doing bass, because this music is based around drums and guitars, and so first make a good guitar sound and then try to fit the bass sound to the guitar sounds. It's actually one thing I learned from Thomas Skogsberg, the producer from Stockholm, and because the normal procedure is actually that you start with the bass and then you do the guitars, but it's a good idea to start with the guitars because the guitar sound is very important. So the last thing we normally do is like doing the vocals, do some effect stuff. For example, for the intro we did some very noisy keyboards. We sampled different stuff like the frying pan, my engagement ring, and run it through tons of distortion pedals and stuff like that. So, and finally the mix. It's the last, I should say, compromise. Everybody wants to be satisfied, and so it's always a compromise. If you do a mix that you like, the drummer will complain, I cannot hear my bass drum, and raise the bass drum, and the bass player comment, yeah, but now I cannot hear my bass. So it's no, but I think all in the band have a good band feeling, and everybody going in the same direction. And they have a bunch of killer songs here. I think I'm actually sitting and headbanging. I like them a lot. I think they're a really cool band. The last album they did in Bano Studio in Malmö, I only heard a couple of tracks from that one time, actually directly after when they recorded it, and I don't have any. I cannot say. But comparing to the first one, I think this is more genuine, more like they find the style of music. A little bit touch of the old At the Gates also, I think. And that's cool, because I like that band also a
The process in The Haunted is that I write my songs, and the twins, who are of course very close, they write their songs more or less together, and we bring them down to the rehearsal place, and we try everything out, and if I feel that something is not right with their stuff, or if Anders finds something that we could do this better with my song, then of course that's what we do, and that's the general process. Arranging songs is something you learn with playing many hours, many shows, and so on. That's actually the hardest part. Coming up with good riffs is not a problem. It's knowing where to put that good riff is what makes a band stand out.
Where did the title come from?
I was talking to our designer Andreas. He does all the layouts for the CD. And he's the guy that came up with the title for the last album, Haunted Made Me Do It, and we were talking about what to use for this album, and just started to talk about different issues and media in general, and we came some kind of the natural born killers kind of angle to everything, and One Kill Wonder being maybe a headline from newspaper, whether a killer will strike again or so on. Nobody wants a killer to strike at all, but they sell more copies of their paper, and it's kind of the whole thing.
What's the obsession with killers and...
Because we're all killers. No, I don't know. It's just something we like. You know, a few guys in the band are into the whole killer thing. They write all these books and so on, and all the killer theme movies. It's also something we all always watch on tour. But no, we're not killers in the band. What is commercial? If thrash would be the trend, then making a thrash album would be trendy. But we'll stay true to what we've done so far, and you know, people know what to expect because we've been. This is what we like, and this is what we do. It's pretty much the truth. You know, you can't please everyone. The greatest moment, I guess, in my entire life was when we played Raining Blood with Dave Lombardo in Tucson, Arizona. The Haunter were opening for Testament, and we had jammed, me and Anders jammed with Dave Lombardo once, and we did all those Slayer songs. And he said, we got to do this live sometime. And yeah, he came out, and we Haunted and just Dave Lombardo on drums, playing Raining Blood, and people just tore the place apart.
Did you throw the telly out the window?
No. I threw a hairdryer out the window. No, that's one of the things I want to achieve on this next tour. I'm always on tour, so that is a rock and roll lifestyle. But you know, if you're a hard-working band and so on, you can't be drinking, you know, 23 hours a day and so on. But you know, there's a lot of party on the bus and stuff like that. But what people, I guess, don't realize that it's a lot of work being on tour. And as soon as you get home, people think you're just, I don't know, the Bahamas or something, sipping cocktails. But you got to start writing songs for that new album. We're almost done. Very happy with the whole thing. We got better sound than we've ever had before. Better songs. Marco's doing great, so we're very happy with the album.
Yeah, it's a Premier Signia Marquee. It's a Premier Signia drum kit. I got my toms are 8, 10, 12, 13. I got 16 and 18 floor toms, and just a regular 22-inch kicks. I'm using on this album. I'm using a little bit of mixed snare drums. For most of the album, I'm using this brass piccolo snare. I like piccolos. You know, the natural aggressiveness of piccolo, especially the brass ones. You know, they really cut through for this music, at least. So, yeah, that's the drums, and then the cymbals. I'm using pasty cymbals, combination of dimensions and signatures, which I'm really happy with. I'm using a little larger hi-hat, 15-inch. For the normal playing, and I have an X hi-hat up here. That's about it. Yeah, I basically like the bit larger cymbals, you know, buried in the 18
What's the most people you've played with?
It's hard to say. Like, it's definitely one of the festivals. You know, one of the European festivals. Probably could be between 5,000 or 10,000 people. It's hard to say. You know, it looks like a lot of people. It might only be a few thousand or something, you know. But I guess between 5,000 and 8,000 realistically, you know.
Do you find it easier playing in small venues because there's more atmosphere?
It's much more fun though, you know. Festival is a good way to you know, to play your music for a lot of people that never heard of you before. You know, it's a good way. It's a good promotion, you know. But as far as doing your show, you know, you never really get your point across so well in a festival because everything's so, you know, you have like a 15 minutes changeover, you know, you have the same sound as the previous band, you know, so playing a club show is more like representable of the band, you know. And I like the fact that people are like this. Everything's so intense, a sweaty atmosphere. So a small, really packed club is definitely preferred. I don't know. I don't really know. I think the reason why Swedish music sounds so original in many aspects is because of the traditional Swedish folk music, you know, and it really shines through in just almost any of the bands up here, any of the bands that you consider the Gothenburg sound or whatever, you know, they all have these elements of traditional Swedish folk music, you know. It's out as something original. I think it's very cool and very good, keeping like the history of the country and kind of showing that through the music. So a lot of these bands up here, they sound Swedish, man, and they don't sound like an American wannabe band. They sound what they are, and they sound like what they are, a Swedish band. I love that. It's good, you know, it's true.
What is it that you've done on the album?
I'm creating some strange sounds and some intros and some mystic sounds inside the songs. I don't know what they wanted, so I just made something up, and it turned out well.
Do you only work with metal bands?
Fredman used to call me when they like some strange sounds and atmospheres, and they want to sound evil.
How do you create your strange sounds?
How? It's very different. I just start and then I see what's happening.
We heard you did something with the frying pan.
Yeah, of course. The oldest trick. Go to the kitchen and get what you can find and then pitch it down and you can do anything. Put it through some filters. I sampled into my dear old friend the K2000 here.
Right.
Which I done all my jobs for Fredman with this one first, and then I take it down into Pro Tools. Everything have a drum machine or in this case a distorted synthesizer. I just cut them up and find the best noisy part, and then I distort it, and when I distort it all the scary sounds will come through that you can't hear.
I think judging by what Charlie has put down on tape already for our intro for the album, it's amazing. Everyone in the band just ecstatic when we hear that song, so I don't think anybody will have anything bad to say about it.
Can we hear some of it?
No, you can't. You'll have to buy the album.
Of course.
The future is my